Welcome students. Let's learn chemistry together in an easy way. So aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids. This chapter we completed that methods of preparation of aldehydes, ketones. We also studied about the methods of preparation of carboxylic acid. But see, physical and chemical properties, we have discussed the physical and chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones, that we completed. But we still need to complete this chemical properties of this carboxylic acid. So let's start. See the chemical reactions, reactions we are going to study. So we will start with this anhydride, this formation, esterification, reaction with this PCl5, PCl3s, SOCl2. We are also going to study about reaction with ammonia, and then the cleavage. So depending upon the cleavage, which bond is going to get broken. So on that basis we have divided the reactions into few categories. So we will discuss one by one. So let's start with the physical properties. See the physical properties of carboxylic acids. So the boiling point of carboxylic acid will be higher than the corresponding compounds which are having the same chain length. Okay. Why the boiling point is more in case of this carboxylic acid? The reason is the hydrogen bonding. Suppose you are actually talking about, see, this is carboxylic acid. Okay. So the hydrogen bond, this will be made between this, like this, okay, this hydrogen bond, and again the hydrogen bond with like this. You can see the hydrogen bonding present between the molecules of this carboxylic acids. See, in this case, the hydrogen bonding present between the molecules will be responsible for more boiling point in case of this carboxylic acids. Okay. So in the vapor phase also, the hydrogen bonding is very strong, and between this you all are going to see that the hydrogen bonding very much easily, this hydrogen bond can be formed between the molecules, and in vapor phase also they are present in the form of dimers. Okay, so this hydrogen bond will be present in the vapor phase also. Okay. So this was that one of that property, physical property, and also let's talk about the solubility. So solubility, of course, because of this hydrogen bonding, they are soluble in water, and in this case, the when the chain length will increase, if the number of that this number of alkyl groups will keep on increasing, so that will hinders this solubility. Okay, that the carboxylic acid, if more number of that carbon will be present, then this hydrophobic part will be developed, and this will stop the solubility. So the carboxylic acid, in which the number of carbons will be 1, 2, 3 or 4, so more than 4 carbons present in this carboxylic acid. So you can say that those carboxylic acids will not be soluble in water. Okay, so lesser the number of chain, more will be the solubility. Okay, so after that butanoic acid, you won't see that the pentanoic acid is not going to get dissolved in water. Okay. Now this was about the physical properties, and also very much important, that acidic strength. Let's talk about the acidic strength. Okay. See here, because the comparison also you may see in the question paper, you will be asked to arrange the compounds on the basis of their acidic strength in increasing order or in decreasing order. So for that, you all should have clear-cut idea about this acidic strength. So what factors are going to govern this, what factors this acidic strength is depending on. Let's talk about it. So acidic strength means what? So this is your carboxylic acid. Okay. So this compound will be considered as acid when this hydrogen, when this compound is going to furnish the hydrogen ion. Okay, hydrogen ion means that H plus. So this cleavage of this bond. So if this bond is breaking, then the release of proton. So this release of proton, if it is very much easy, then you all can say that this will be considered as a good acid. Okay, now this in this carboxylic acid, the conjugate base. What conjugate base is? Let me tell you. See this. We can write like this. Double-headed arrow we are writing because this is reversibility we are showing here. So this RCO negative plus this H plus. Okay, so again this bond, this will again attach this H plus, and then this acid will be formed like this. This will be reversible if this conjugate base means after the release of proton, the species that which will be left. Okay, so that will be called as the conjugate base of the acid. Okay, so in this case, this RCO negative, this will be the conjugate base. If this will be stable, okay, so depending on the stability of the conjugate base, you can judge whether the acidic strength is more or less. Okay, so more stability, so that will be governed by the more number of resonating structure of that conjugate base, and also on which of the element, on which of the atom the negative charge is acquired by. So two that factors are going to judge whether this conjugate base will be stable or not. Okay, let's understand what the meaning is. See, in this case, RCOO negative, which I wrote here. So, in this case, the resonating structure also you can see RC, this O, see here, this was making double bond with this oxygen and then this O negative. Okay, so we can also make like this, the double bond with this oxygen, okay, and the resonance hybrid structure will be like this. Okay, if this will be the oxygen, so you can show like this, the dotted this line. So this will be the case. Okay, so these are the different resonating structure. Now see here, one question is given in your textbook also, that see, the alcohols also are having this acidic nature, but they are very weak alcohol. They are very weak. Okay, but in this case, the phenol is also having this acidic nature. So out of the phenoxide ion, which is the conjugate base, see, after the release of H plus from this, suppose you are actually talking about phenol. Okay, phenol is having what kind of that structure? See, I am writing here. See, this is phenol. Okay, I hope you all can see this. This is phenol. So phenol, if it loses this H plus ion, then this will become what? Phenoxide. This will be called as phenoxide ion. Phenoxide ion means after the release of H plus, this O negative and this will be attached with this ring. Okay, so this will be called as this is called as phenoxide ion. Now this phenoxide ion, see here, this phenoxide ion, if this negative charge, if this oxygen is going to use this negative charge for making bond between this carbon and this oxygen, then what will happen? See here, this bond, this carbon is if this carbon is making double bond with this oxygen, means you can show this charge, means the electrons will be used for making this bond. Okay, now the double bond is between carbon and oxygen, so this double bond will be broken, and because the oxygen was using the electrons to make this bond, so what will happen, this bond is breaking, and the electrons, okay, so where the electrons will go to this position. Okay, and in the next resonating structure you will see here, like this, the double bond is present between this carbon and oxygen, this bond was broken. Okay, and this see here, this these electrons will be used to make bond between these two carbons. If this is happening, then this bond will be this bond will break and the electrons will go to this position. Negative charge will come and acquire, that negative charge will come and occupy this position. This is para position, ortho position, and again similarly you all can see here, this bond will be made, this negative charge will come here, and then this structure, then next this will be okay. So now in this case, this bond, these electrons will be used to make bond here. Okay, so you are having this bond, and this bond will break and the electrons will come on this position. So this negative charge, this, and again what will happen, these electrons again will be used to make bond here, and the bond which was present here with the oxygen and carbon, so this will break and the electrons will go to this oxygen again. Okay, so means this structure you will get again. So the different resonating structures you are having in case of phenoxide ion. So you all can say that if you are judging on the basis of resonating structure, then definitely this phenoxide ions, this will show you that more resonating structures are associated with this phenoxide ion. So on the basis of this, you will say that phenols phenols will be more acidic than this the carboxylic acid. Suppose you are actually taking R is CH3, so acetic acid. So in case of acetic acid and this phenol, so which one will be more acidic? So on the basis of resonating structure, your answer will be what? Definitely this phenoxide ion, more resonating structure they are having, more stability this phenoxide ion will have. That is why more acidic strength will be associated with this phenols. Okay, but the fact is, these means the acetic acid will be more that acetic acid will be more acid that will have more acidic strength. The reason is, see here, the negative charge in this case, see in case of acetic acid, the negative charge will be on oxygen. That negative charge will be present on more electronegative that atom. That is why more stable this particular species will become because of this see, because of the presence of negative charge on more electronegative atom. So as compared to this carbon, see, if you are comparing it with carbon, then negative, in this case the negative charge will be on carbon, and in this case the negative charge present here, the negative charge is present on this oxygen. So this will be having more stability. Okay, so what will be the reason why this acetic acid will be more will have more acidic strength? Because the negative charge is present on the more electronegative atom, and that is only making this conjugate acid more stable. Okay, stable the conjugate that conjugate base, sorry, the more stable the conjugate base of the acid, more will be the acidic strength. Hope you understood. So on the basis of this resonating structure, on the basis of the negative charge present on that more electronegative or less electronegative atom, that also will be the decisive factor. Okay, two factors, and so this will help you in judging that which compound will have more acidic strength. Okay, now see the acidic strength. We all have actually we know about the ionic equilibrium. So in that case we have seen the Ka. This Ka means what? Suppose your acid is RCOOH, and this will give you this RCOO negative plus H plus. Okay. Now if you are asked to write the equilibrium constant for this acid, so what will be your expression? See here, this RCOO negative and this H plus upon this RCOOH, and also in presence of water we are actually showing this, but that water we are writing here. Here also if you want you can write water. So water and this equilibrium constant, so this that also is a constant, that value, that is why we are going to combine them, and this will be written like this, Ka. So this equilibrium constant for this acid will be see here, more the value of Ka is, see here if you are actually going to calculate the values, means the molar concentration of this RCOO and molar concentration of this hydrogen ion. So this will only help you in deciding, means more the value of these concentration, means more dissociation into this that conjugate base and this H plus ion. Okay, more the value of this will tell you that more acidic nature that particular substance will have. Okay, see what my point is, more the value for this, okay, more the dissociation, more easier the dissociation, okay, conjugate base and this hydrogen, and more the concentration of hydrogen ion, so more will be the value of Ka, because the denominator increases, this value also will increase. Okay, so in this case what you can say, more the value of Ka, more will be the acidic strength. More will be the acidic strength. Do remember this, write it down. Okay, so this was also one of the factor. If the Ka values will be given to you, and if you are asked to compare the different substances on the basis of this Ka value, Ka is what? The equilibrium constant for acid. Okay, so more will be the more the value of this Ka, more will be the acidic strength. Okay, now next is pKa. So what this pKa means? pKa is the negative log of Ka, negative log of this. Okay, so negative log of Ka, so this will help you in determining the acidic strength. How come? See here, in this case the negative log, so in this case you can say lesser the value of pKa, more will be the acidic strength. Okay, this is what the negative log. Do remember that negative log of Ka we are considering. So this will be called as pKa. This is relevant to pH. Okay, so lesser the pH, so more will be the acidic strength. We are actually saying like this in that way, but here the Ka value, so more the Ka value, more will be the acidic strength, but lesser the pKa value. Okay, so for very strong acid the pKa value will be very less. Suppose very strong acid you are considering, this H2SO4 or HNO3, like that you are considering. So for them, what you will observe, the pKa value will be very less. Okay, that will be lesser than 1, or that 1 or 2. So this very strong acid will have pKa value that 1 or less than 1. And for moderately strong that acid, moderately strong acids, this organic acids, this acetic acid or organic acids, carboxylic acids will come under that category. So the pKa value, so that will be between 1 to 5. Okay, so and the pKa value that 5 to 10. So this will have this 5 to 10. So that will be will be for weaker acid, and for extremely weak that acids. So so extremely weaker than that will be what, more than 10. So this in this way you can remember this, that this 0 to 1. So very strong acids will have this pKa value 0 to 1. Okay. So if you want, you can write one line. See, write down. Lesser the value of pKa, more will be the acidic strength. Okay, so more will be the acidic strength. So now next, so this was all about acidic strength. Now let's talk about the groups which are attached with the acids. Okay, so suppose we are having the group, this suppose this benzene ring we are having. Okay, and see, this is COOH. Okay, and in this case the electronegative atoms are present here. See, electronegative, this. Okay, so if your compound is this, then, or you can say nitro group, is benzoic acid is present, this nitro group is present here. So in this case, if you are asked to compare this benzoic acid and this nitrobenzoic acid, okay, 2 nitrobenzoic acid, like that, if two compounds you are given, then which one will be more acidic? See here, in this case the electron withdrawing group is attached here. See, the in this case what will happen, after the release of this H positive, okay, the negative charge, so in this case what will happen, see, the O negative and this H positive, so electron withdrawing group is also attached with this, so more acidic will be this compound. Okay, and suppose you are actually talking about this C, F, F and F, so this COOH. Okay, if this compound you are having, then what you are going to say about this? Suppose this cyanide group is present here, and this is H, this is H, this is COOH. Okay, and in one more, see, if these compounds will be present, suppose you are having this nitro group is present here, this is COH, H and OH. So if these compounds you are given, then if you are asked to arrange them in increasing order of this acidic strength, so what you are going to do, the least acidic strength will be with this compound. Okay, sorry, with this compound. Okay, this compound will have, the cyano group is present here. So see, this is this cyanide group is present here. So this compound will be having the less acidic strength. More than this will be with the nitro group is present with this carbon. Okay, so more will be with this nitro group, and even more the so most acidic strength will be associated with this compound. Okay, so this will be means if you are asked to arrange them in increasing order, so what you are going to do, this will have in first of all you will write this compound CHH, this CN, this COOH. Okay, then this will be the least one. Okay, in between you will write here this NO2, okay, CH2, COOH, and the most acidic this will be CF3COOH, like that you can write. Okay, so this will be the arrangement. So the groups also, what groups are attached with the compound, so that also decides, because see what is happening here, more electronegative atoms will even stabilize this compound. Okay, so the conjugate acid which will be formed after the release of H plus, then the conjugate base will be more stable, that will become more stable if the electron withdrawing group, suppose you are having this electronegative that atoms attached to your substance, attached to your carboxylic acid compound, then what you will observe, the electrons electron withdrawing means, suppose they are having fluorine also present with them, chlorine also is present, suppose CF3COOH, so in place of this Cl3COOH, if this compound is given to you and you are asked to compare between these two these two compounds, okay, which one will be more acidic, so what you will say, that more electronegative compound, that atoms are attached with what, the first compound CF3COOH, so that will have more acidic strength. Okay, less electronegative will be chlorine, so that will have the suppose two or one electronegative atom only is attached. If three are attached, then which one will be more that acidic? The carbon attached with three that electronegative atoms. Like that, you all can that predict which compound will have more acidic strength. Okay. So now next, let's see here. Okay, so let's start the chemical properties of the carboxylic acids. Okay, so first of all, on the basis of cleavage, in the beginning only I told you that on the basis of cleavage, which bond is exactly breaking. So on that basis we have divided this chemical properties on that 2-3 different categories. See here, the first one is the cleavage of, see, this was the this is carboxylic acid. Now this bond is going to this bond is breaking here. Okay, so the first one is formation of anhydride. So in this case, anhydride means what? See, the anhydride, the word itself is telling you that which compound we are talking about. The anhydride means the water part is being taken out. Okay, so the removal of water, after the removal of water from this acid, the part which we are left with, so that will be called as what? Anhydride. Okay, so suppose you are having this CH3COOH, okay, and one more CH3COOH. If this compound, two that molecules of this acetic acid you have taken, so one of the molecule will show this cleavage, means carbon and oxygen this bond is between this carbon and oxygen, the bond which is present, so that is going to break here. Okay, and here this bond will break. So see, the first we are actually talking about the cleavage of this C and O, the cleavage of the bond present between C and O. So this bond is breaking. Now what will happen, this H2O will be removed, and see here this carbon and this carbon, so this oxygen is left. You can also show in this manner. So this will be formed, this bond is going to break here. So H2O will be removed and you are left with anhydride. Anhydride, suppose you are having two carbons present here. Two carbons means what the word root will be? Eth. Okay, so we will say that this is what? That ethanoic anhydride. If the unsymmetrical carbon will be present. Unsymmetrical carbon means this the see here, the CH3 means the alkyl group are the same. If the different alkyl groups are present with the carboxylic acids, suppose you are having here C2H5 and here you are having C3H7. Okay, if this type of anhydride you got, then what? How you are going to name the anhydride? See here, you will name them. This one is this is what? Two this carbons and one more this carbon. So this will make propanoic, and this will be what? 3 plus 1. Or if you want, you can also change it like this. C3 CH3. Okay, so in any of the cases, suppose that means earlier what we wrote here C3H7, so that also I will tell you how to name them. See, the two different alkyl groups are present here. This is what ethyl group and this is what methyl group. Okay, so this 2 and 3, this also will be counted. So this is propyl, this is propanoic, and this will be called as what? Two carbons are present here, so ethanoic. So the name will be ethanoic, propanoic anhydride. Okay, so like this you can name them. Now the earlier we have taken C3H7. Okay, so in this case C3H7 and one more carbon, so butanoic. Okay, so the alpha in alphabetical order we will arrange. This will be called as what? Butanoic, propanoic anhydride. Okay, earlier we wrote here C3H7, so that will be given the name butanoic, propanoic anhydride. Okay, so this was about the naming of this anhydride. Now how the anhydride will be formed? See, you will have to write like this. Wait, in this case the dehydrating agent, see this one you can you will show this compound as see, this is C2H5, this is CH3, and the bond you show this bond like this, and here also you will show this bond C2H5, then this is COOH. This compound will be clearly, I am showing you the same like this. Okay, so this compound you are going to get. Okay, so this in this case the formation of anhydride, how the formation of anhydride you saw here, the OH and this H. Okay, so this in this case these bond will be broken and then anhydride will be formed. So first one was the formation of anhydride. Okay, so next the second one is esterification. So it's very important. Okay, so in reagent what you are going to choose here, this P2O5, so this you can choose. Okay, so P2 you are heating it, so you are going to get this, or if you want H2SO4 also you can take and you can heat it like this, so to this anhydride will be formed. Okay, now next is so write it down, this P2O5 and this heating, or also you can write H2SO4 this and you will heat it like this. Okay, so this was the formation of anhydride. Now the next is esterification. So let's learn about esterification. I'm going to show you here the mechanism, very important mechanism. Let's start. The first of all, for esterification, in this case, see, we are going to take this RCOOH. I hope you all can see this. Yes. So this ester you have the acetic acid, if you are taking, if this R will be replaced by CH3, then that will be called as acetic acid, or any of that alkyl group you can choose. This carboxylic acid we are taking. With this carboxylic acid you have chosen R-OH. Okay, so this alcohol and in this case you are also taking this H2SO4 concentrated, that H2SO4, HNO3, like that you can take. So this H2SO4 you have taken. Now what you are going to get in this case, RCOOR dash. This one, the R dash is associated with this OH alcohol, and that this compound you are going to get, this is what, ester. So this process will be the formation of ester. So this is called as esterification. Okay, so the mechanism I am going to show you, very important. The mechanism will be, okay, so let's start. Okay, so mechanism of esterification. First of all, this RCOOH. Okay, this is the compound, and then this R-OH, and you are going to use H2SO4. Okay, in presence of this concentrated H2SO4 you are taking. Now what is happening here? RCOOH. Okay, so first of all, the acid you are taking here. Okay, the acid, this concentrated H2SO4, HCl, anything you can take. So this this acid will provide H plus ion. This is obvious thing, that acid is going to give this H plus ion. So this protonation will be shown by this compound, protonation. So where exactly this proton will go and get attached? Here with this oxygen. See, this oxygen is going to this oxygen is going to get attached with this hydrogen. Okay, so this oxygen is going to attack. Why? Because this see here, this oxygen is having this lone pair of electrons also. So those lone pair of electrons will be used for making bond with this hydrogen, and then you got what, this will be see here, R C double bond O, this H, then here you are having OH. Now this oxygen, see here, the oxygen is making how many bonds? 1, 2, 3. So 3 bonds this oxygen is making. That is why this oxygen will acquire positive charge. Positive charge is not that stable thing, or you can say this will not let the oxygen be stable. It will lose its stability. Why? Because this positive charge is acquired by this oxygen, and oxygen is habitual of having keeping negative charge. Okay, so what you will observe here, this will make the oxygen very much unstable. So what will happen now? This in order to pacify this oxygen, this bond will be this bond is going to this bond is going to break. Okay, so this bond is breaking. If this bond is breaking, then the oxygen will have the electrons. That oxygen will keep the electrons, means after cleavage of bond, 2 electrons will be released. Okay, so those 2 electrons will be accepted by this oxygen in order to get stable. Okay, now what will happen? This oxygen, okay, done. That oxygen, this oxygen was now this oxygen is happy, satisfied with this electrons. Okay, this bond is being broken. In doing so, this carbon, because this bond is broken, so this carbon is left with 3 bonds. Now this carbon will possess what? Positive charge. Okay, now this carbon is going to possess positive charge. So what will happen? See the now this ROH. Okay, so this we already wrote here, this R dash OH. So what will happen now? This oxygen of this alcohol. Okay, this oxygen also has the lone pair of electrons. So the oxygen will use the lone pair of electron and make bond with this carbon. Okay, so what you will get now? See, this R will remain as it is. This oxygen, sorry, one bond only was present here. So this O, then H, and here also one OH, and this bond we are going to write here, this O. Oxygen is making bond with this carbon, and then the H, this oxygen was attached with this R dash. Okay, like this we are having. I hope you all can see. Again, I am telling you what is happening here. The carbon attached with this oxygen. Okay, the oxygen, because it was unstable, so this was responsible for the cleavage of the bond between oxygen and carbon. Then this carbon, because that carbon possessed this positive charge. Okay, positive charge this carbon was having. So this alcohol means oxygen of this alcohol made a bond with, because this electrons were present with this oxygen. So this oxygen came and made bond with this carbon. Okay, so this kind of situation we got now. Now here also again we all are knowing that 3 bonds. The oxygen is not this is not supposed to make 3 bonds. It will not remain stable. So again what will happen? This the hydrogen. See, this oxygen became positively charged. So positive charge is not a common thing or normal thing for this oxygen. So very much unstable this oxygen will become. So again what will happen? This hydrogen will be lost from this hydrogen will be lost from this oxygen. So oxygen will take away all the electrons, and then this oxygen will be satisfied with the negative charge. Okay, so with the electrons, so this positive charge will be vanished. Now this proton, so this proton will here this proton is going to get released, and this proton will get attached to this oxygen. Okay, now what will happen? See here. This R C O H, and here also OH, one more proton again. So here also positive charge. Now this O R dash. Okay, so I hope you all can see this. Yes. So here what will happen? See, oxygen again here also that oxygen will be very much unstable. That is why this bond will break, and this H2O means here you can say that what has happened, the water part means H2O, that will be removed. Okay, so H2O will be removed from this, and see here also this proton means this proton will be lost by, see after losing what we see here, after the cleavage of this bond between carbon and this oxygen, this bond is breaking. So if this carbon is breaking this bond, then carbon will be left with what? See, H2O. So this is going to come out. Now this carbon is left with 3 bonds. So carbon will not be stable with 3 bonds. That is why this carbon will make, again this carbon will make double bond with this oxygen, and then see this compound will be formed. The ester will be formed. The R dash we are writing because this R dash means this may or may not be the same alkyl group attached with the alcohol. This R dash came from the alcoholic part. Okay. So this was the mechanism. I hope you understood. Again I am telling you what has happened here. The RCOOH, this R dash OH. Okay, one carboxylic group you have taken. Then what will happen? The protonation. First of all, first step will be what? Protonation. If you want, you can write down the first step. Okay, so this is what? Protonation of this this oxygen. Okay, so this oxygen will will get attached with this proton. Okay, so OH. So OH will be formed, and again because this carbon in this case, see this oxygen OH, after accepting this proton, the oxygen will be with positive charge. That will acquire positive charge because this oxygen is making what? 3 bonds. So oxygen is generally not making 3 bonds. That is why it will become very unstable, and this positive charge, that will be acquisition of positive charge, okay, on the by this oxygen. So what will happen? This bond will be cleaved. This bond will break, and this bond will break. So what will happen now? If this bond is breaking, this carbon will be left with 3 bonds. So again this carbon will acquire what? Positive charge, because the electrons has been taken by this oxygen. After the cleavage of this bond between carbon and oxygen, more electronegative is oxygen. That is why the electrons will be kept with oxygen. Okay, so carbon will be with positive charge. So again this carbon C plus means positive charge, positively charged carbon will make bond with this C oxygen of alcohol. Okay, so this COR, this COR and this H. So H and R, this ROH, so this will get attached with this carbon like this, and again because the same thing, the oxygen 3 bonds it is making, that is why more unstable this oxygen will become. In order to pacify this need of this oxygen, what will happen? See this bond this oxygen is making here. So what this oxygen is going to do now? The hydrogen will be released, means H plus ion. So that will be released by this oxygen in order to get satisfied. Now if this proton will be accepted, so in this proton transfer you can say, or you can say proton will be accepted by this OH. So OH and one more H. So again this positive charge will this oxygen will acquire. Again the same thing, this will become very unstable, and then this bond between carbon and this H2O. So this will break, and then after breaking of this bond, this carbon again will have 3 bonds only. That is why again it will make double bond with this oxygen. Okay, so H2O is replaced here. So this 3 bonds carbon was having, so this carbon will make double bond with this oxygen, and then your final that product this ester will be formed. Okay, so this was all about the mechanism of this esterification. Okay, now next is, so this was esterification. I hope you noted down step by step all the different mechanism how we started with the protonation. After this these steps also followed by these steps, and then the this ester we got. And ester, because see I wrote here I should use like this kind of arrow we are showing. Why? Because this is reversible reaction. Okay, so this formation of ester, and again if this is formation of ester, and again ester and this H2O which is removed. Okay, so this will form again the same reactants. Okay, so this is the reversible process. The hydrolysis of ester also you can say. So hydrolysis of ester will give you what? This alcohol and this acid, and alcohol and acid will together form ester. So this will be reversible reaction. Now this was all about esterification. Now let's move ahead. After esterification, note down everything, and then you can if you want you can rewind it also. So next is reaction. See the third part, this is reaction with PCl5, PCl3 and SOCl2, thionyl chloride. Okay, now see here, first we are going to see that the reaction of this carboxylic acid with this PCl5. So this will give you see here, this will give you RCOCl plus this POCl3 plus HCl. I hope you all can say this. This RCOCl, this acyl chloride you will get. RCOCl means that OH will be replaced by Cl. That's it. Okay. Now PCl with PCl5 it is going to react, and then this product you are going to get see RCOCl and here POCl3 plus this HCl. Okay, so this will be the product in this case. Now if this carboxylic acid is going to react with PCl3, then your product will be the same acyl chloride in this case also, but byproduct will be H3PO3. This is phosphorus acid. Okay, so let's balance this. Three molecules of this carboxylic acid, then PCl3 reacting with this. Okay, so RCO3 times that we have written here, that Cl3 that also we have written here. Okay, so we are left with what? OH 3 times 3 means 3 oxygen, 3 hydrogen and 1 phosphorus. So we got H3PO3 plus C H3PO3. Let's see whether it is balanced or not. RCOCl, okay, and H3PO3. That's it, nothing else. Okay, so let's see what we got. RCOCl, okay, RCOCl plus H3PO3. Now all this reaction also is balanced. What product we got? The major product is this acyl chloride, and along with this the byproduct which we got, that is phosphorus acid, H3PO3. Okay, now if this compound is reacting with this thionyl chloride, then see what you are going to get in this case, RCOCl. Okay, then SO2 plus HCl. See, very that important, and why this is more important than the other two. This is because the byproducts which we got, that will be in gaseous state, and the gases will escape out. We are left with what? The acyl chloride. So more important this reaction became. Why? Because the byproducts are not going to remain with the desired product which we are looking for. Means acyl chloride. If you want only acyl chloride, so for that you should choose this method with thionyl chloride. If your if your carboxylic acid is reacting, then you will get this acyl chloride, SO2 will escape out, HCl will escape out. Okay, these two are in gaseous state. That is why this byproducts will not be present if you are choosing this method to prepare this acyl chloride. Okay, now next is this was the reaction with PCl5, PCl3 and this SOCl2. When these reagents were reacting with alcohol, so at that time they were also the very important that reagents to form what? The haloalkanes. Okay, so halogenation was done because of these reagents. This very important one, the OH group, so that will be replaced by this Cl. Okay, so in this case the halogenation or chlorination or bromination also you all can see by this reagents. Okay, so this was all about the reaction of carboxylic acid with PCl5, PCl3 and SOCl2. Now the next is, hope you noted down. Okay, now the next is fourth one. This is what? The reaction with ammonia. Okay, so the fourth one, reaction with ammonia. See, the RCOOH, if it is reacting with this ammonia, then you will get what? See, first of all you will get this ammonia NH3 plus 1 4, so NH4. Okay, so this is negative, this is positive charge. So this ammonium salt of carboxylic acid, you got ammonium salt of carboxylic acid. Okay, now after this, again you are actually heating it with ammonia, so you got this ammonium salt, and then what will happen? The NH3 will escape out, so you will get what? Sorry, not NH2, sorry, NH3 is not going to escape here. The water will, the water will be removed. Okay, so if you are taking out water, then what will happen? This O and H2. So you are left with what? NH2. Okay, so this will be what? Your alkane amide. So you got amide. How to make amide? With the help of this carboxylic acid. So this is what? This is ammonia, reaction with ammonia. So you are going to get this alkane amide. Okay, if your ring, suppose your benzoic acid is going to react. Okay, so if benzoic acid is going to react with ammonia, then what will be the product? First of all, you will get the ammonium salt of this ammonium salt of this benzoic acid, like